Of course, you can find a lot of content out there on LinkedIn talking about your strengths, and you could talk about your weaknesses, and you could talk about the way that we need to get it done in order to push our business or our life forward. But at what point do our strengths actually become our weakness? And I know from a personal side, I've realized that over the last 2 weeks. If you've noticed, I haven't been on LinkedIn quite as much, posting content or commenting or doing the things I usually do, because I've had some personal things go on that have caused me to evaluate myself and make sure I'm not overusing my strengths. So what can we do if we feel that maybe we're being a little bit too heavy on the strengths and not understanding how they could really impact us? There's 5 things that I've come up with that I want to share with you. And again, these are from personal experience here recently that could help you to better understand how to do that. So the first thing that you need to do is to slow down and press the pause button. Okay, so I know personally, slowing down a little bit, not making quick decisions, and thinking through some things have been very important for me in order to make sure I'm not rolling over people and having my strength become a weakness. The second thing that I needed to do was I needed to push myself outside of the comfort zone, right? So our strengths, and if you know me, I'm very, let's get it done, let's move it forward, let's take the action we need to do, let's be positive, let's do those things. But a lot of times I get into a comfort zone, even myself, where, we don't necessarily realize that I'm not going to step outside of that if I don't if I don't think about getting outside that comfort zone. It's very comforting for us. The third thing that I found is that I was getting very reactive and not really being as creative as I could be, taking other people's input into account. Again, I have a lot of decisions I had to make, a lot of different things that had to happen, and they had to happen quickly. But instead of reacting to each one of those situations, I stood back and I took inventory of the people in life who were giving me good opinions and were helping me be creative in how I can get through some of the situations that have been going on. And I wanted to make sure that I wasn't running anybody over, which I think is really important. So the fourth thing is to make sure that I was listening. Again, that kind of goes a little bit with being creative, is listening to people, right? So a lot of times when we're out getting it done and we think we have everything and we're going forward and we take an action, a lot of times we just don't listen. We have to stop and listen. And lastly, don't shoulder all the burden. Okay, I've had 2 weeks of a lot of different things going on, and there's no way I could have done everything myself. I'm usually one who doesn't have an issue with going out and taking care of what I need to and helping people, but I've realized that I can't take the burden and I need to share it. I've had a lot of great people in my network, locally and even nationally, reach out to me to help me in this time when there are some things going on that I needed help with. And it's amazing the support that's out there, but you have to utilize it. Don't shoulder all the burden. So these are 5 things that you can do to make sure that your strengths are not going to become your weakness and hold you back. The last thing we want to do is hold ourselves back in anything that we do, because we're not going to find success in business or in life if we don't find a way to maximize our strengths and not turn them into a weakness. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, this was inspired by some personal stuff that was going on, so it's really from the heart. I'd love to get your comments, your feedbacks, and your likes, and I will see you again next time.